I just spent 72 hours driving through the most dangerous streets of Los Angeles, and what I discovered will shock you. Number 3 on this list has a crime rate that's literally off the charts. We're talking about a place where even seasoned LAPD officers refuse to patrol alone after dark. But here's the thing that'll blow your mind. The most dangerous neighborhood isn't where you think it is. In fact, the area that topped our list is somewhere most tourists drive through every single day without even knowing they're in extreme danger. Before we dive into these shocking statistics, if you're planning to visit LA or you live here and want to stay safe, smash that like button right now because this information could literally save your life. And make sure you subscribe with notifications on because I'm releasing a follow-up video next week showing you the safest neighborhoods in LA that nobody talks about. What's up everyone, I'm back with another eye-opening investigation, and today we're tackling something that affects millions of people: the reality of crime in Los Angeles. Now, before anyone gets upset, this isn't about shaming communities or spreading fear. This is about facts, safety, and understanding the real Los Angeles beyond the Hollywood glamour. I've spent months researching FBI crime statistics, LAPD data, and even interviewed local residents and business owners to bring you the most accurate picture possible. We're looking at violent crime rates, property crime, gang activity, and overall safety based on the most recent data available. Los Angeles spans over 500 square miles with nearly 4 million residents, and like any major city, some areas are significantly more dangerous than others. The neighborhoods we're covering today have crime rates that are 300,800% higher than the national average. That's not an exaggeration, those are real numbers. But here's what makes this video different: I'm not just giving you statistics. I'm showing you why these areas became dangerous, what's being done to improve them, and most importantly, how to stay safe if you find yourself in these locations. Now, before we jump into our countdown, let me explain how I compiled this list. I analyzed crime data from multiple sources including FBI Uniform Crime Reporting Statistics, LAPD CompStat data, Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department reports, community safety surveys, local news crime reports from the past 24 months. I focused on 4 key metrics: violent crime rate per 1,000 residents, property crime rate, gang activity levels, and overall safety perception based on resident surveys. Important disclaimer: these neighborhoods have good people, families, and communities working hard to make positive changes. Many residents have lived in these areas for decades and call them home. This video is about awareness and safety, not about judging entire communities. Also, crime can happen anywhere in any city. Even Beverly Hills has crime. The difference is frequency and severity, which is what we're examining today. If you're getting value from this research, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I put serious time into investigating these urban topics that affect real people's lives. Number 10, Westlake. Coming in at number 10 is Westlake, and this might surprise some of you because it's right next to downtown LA. With a population of about 120,000 people, Westlake has a violent crime rate of 15.7 per 1,000 residents. That's nearly triple the national average. What makes Westlake particularly concerning is the high concentration of gang activity, specifically MS-13 and 18th Street gang territories. The area around MacArthur Park has been a hotspot for drug dealing and violent encounters for decades. But here's what's interesting: parts of Westlake are rapidly gentrifying. You'll see brand new luxury condos going up right next to areas that locals warn you not to walk through after sunset. It's this stark contrast that makes navigation tricky for visitors. Safety tips: if you must visit this area, stick to main streets like Wilshire Boulevard during daylight hours. Avoid MacArthur Park after dark, and don't display expensive items or jewelry. The positive news? Community organizations and increased police presence have actually reduced crime by 12% over the past 2 years. Progress is happening, but slowly. Number 9, Hollywood. Number 9 might shock you: it's Hollywood. Yes, the Hollywood that millions of tourists visit every year. With all those cameras and crowds, you'd think it would be safer, right? Wrong. Hollywood has a violent crime rate of 16.2 per 1,000 residents and a property crime rate that's absolutely staggering: 89.4 per 1,000 residents. That means nearly 1 in 10 people will be a victim of property crime each year. The main issues here are pickpocketing, robbery, assault, and a surprising amount of drug-related violence. The area around Hollywood and Highland, where all the tourists go, sees dozens of crimes every single day. What most visitors don't realize is that Hollywood has a massive homeless population, over 4,000 people living on the streets. This contributes to property crime, public safety issues, and unpredictable encounters. Tourist warning. Those guys in superhero costumes on Hollywood Boulevard? Some are legitimate entertainers, but others are involved in scams, drug dealing, or worse. The LAPD has arrested several for assault and robbery. If you're visiting Hollywood, stay in groups, keep your belongings secure, and avoid side streets off the main boulevard, especially after 10 p.m. Number 8. Van Nuys. Van Nuys takes the number 8 spot, and this San Fernando Valley neighborhood has some serious issues. With nearly 140,000 residents, Van Nuys has a violent crime rate of 17.8 per 1,000 people. The main problems here are gang violence, particularly involving the Van Nuys boys and various Sereno sets, plus a significant amount of domestic violence and drug-related crime. The area around Van Nuys Boulevard and Sherman Way is particularly problematic. What makes Van Nuys especially dangerous is the prevalence of illegal weapons. LAPD recovered over 300 illegal firearms from this area in just the past year. That's almost 1 gun confiscated every single day. The economic factors play a huge role here. Van Nuys has high unemployment, limited economic opportunities, and a lot of transient population. These conditions create environments where crime flourishes. But here's something positive: Van Nuys has some of the most dedicated community activists in LA. Organizations like Van Nuys Strong are working with law enforcement and local businesses to create safer spaces and economic opportunities. Safety note: if you're driving through Van Nuys, avoid stopping at gas stations or convenience stores after dark. Several visitors have been robbed at gunpoint at these locations in recent months. Number 7. Boyle Heights. Boyle Heights comes in at number 7, and this East LA neighborhood has a complex history that directly impacts its current crime situation. With a violent crime rate of 18.9 per 1,000 residents, Boyle Heights struggles with multi-generational gang issues. This area is home to some of LA's oldest and most established gangs, including White Fence, one of the city's original Latino gangs dating back to the 1940s. The territorial disputes and ongoing feuds contribute significantly to the violence statistics. However, Boyle Heights also has an incredibly strong cultural identity and community pride. The neighborhood is fighting against gentrification while trying to reduce crime. It's a delicate balance. What's particularly concerning is the impact on families. Boyle Heights has a very young demographic, with over 35% of residents under 18. These kids are growing up surrounded by violence, which perpetuates cycles of crime and gang involvement. Recent development: the LAPD launched Operation Safe Streets in Boyle Heights last year, resulting in over 200 arrests and the seizure of millions of dollars in drugs and weapons. Crime has decreased by 8% since the operation began. If you're visiting for the amazing food scene, and Boyle Heights has some of LA's best Mexican restaurants, go during daylight hours and stick to main commercial streets like Cesar Chavez Avenue. Alright, we're halfway through our countdown, and I can already see the comment section blowing up. Before we continue with the top 5 most dangerous neighborhoods, and trust me, these next ones are going to shock you, let's take a quick moment. If this information is helping you understand LA better, show some love by hitting that like button. It really helps the algorithm share this important safety information with more people who need to see it. And I have to ask, are you surprised by any of these neighborhoods so far? Drop a comment and let me know if you've had any experiences in these areas. Your stories help other viewers understand the real situation on the ground. Also, make sure you're subscribed with the bell notification turned on, because next week I'm dropping an exclusive video about the safest neighborhoods in LA that offer the best value for your money. You won't want to miss that one. Now, let's continue with number 6, and this one involves a neighborhood that most people think is completely safe. Number 6 Fashion District, Downtown. Number 6 is the Fashion District area of downtown LA, and this inclusion might surprise you because of all the business activity and foot traffic during the day. But the crime statistics tell a different story. With a violent crime rate of 19.7 per 1,000 residents and property crime at 94.2 per 1,000, the Fashion District transforms dramatically after business hours. During the day, you've got thousands of wholesale buyers, tourists, and workers creating a bustling, relatively safe environment. But after 6 p.m., many of these streets become ghost towns, creating perfect conditions for crime. The main issues here are robbery, assault, and a significant homeless population that creates unpredictable situations. The area around San Julian Street has one of the highest concentrations of homeless individuals in the entire country. We're talking about over 1,000 people living on just a few city blocks. What makes this particularly dangerous for visitors is the false sense of security. People come here during the day for shopping and assume it's safe to return in the evening. That's when problems occur. Shocking statistic. In the past year, there were 47 reported robberies just in the 2-block radius around 9th and Los Angeles streets. That's almost one robbery per week in an area smaller than most shopping malls. The city has invested millions in cleanup efforts and increased police presence, but the results have been mixed. Some blocks have improved significantly, while others have actually gotten worse. Number 5 South Park. South Park takes the number 5 spot, and don't confuse this with the nice areas near downtown's business district. This South Park, located in South Central LA, has a violent crime rate of 22.4 per 1,000 residents. What makes South Park particularly dangerous is the convergence of multiple gang territories. You've got Bloods, Crips, and various Hispanic gangs all operating in close proximity, leading to frequent territorial disputes and retaliatory violence. The neighborhood also struggles with a high concentration of drug activity, particularly methamphetamine and fentanyl distribution. LAPD Narcotics Division conducted 89 drug-related arrests in this small area just in the past 6 months. But here's what's really heartbreaking: South Park has some beautiful historic architecture and was once a thriving middle-class neighborhood in the 1950s. Economic disinvestment, white flight, and decades of neglect created the conditions we see today. Community impact. Local schools have had to implement strict safety protocols. Some elementary schools require ID checks and metal detectors. Imagine being 8 years old and having to walk through a metal detector just to go to class. However, there are signs of hope. Community gardens, youth programs, and small business development initiatives are starting to make small but meaningful changes. Important safety note. If you accidentally find yourself in South Park, especially after dark, stay in your vehicle with doors locked and navigate out using main streets like Vermont or Figueroa. Do not stop for any reason. Number 4 Skid Row. Skid Row claims the number 4 position, and honestly, this could easily be number 1 depending on how you measure danger. With approximately 5,000 homeless individuals living in a 50-block area, Skid Row presents unique safety challenges. The violent crime rate here is 28.7 per 1,000 residents, but that number doesn't tell the full story because the resident count is difficult to track accurately. What makes Skid Row extremely dangerous isn't just traditional crime, it's the unpredictability. Mental health crises, drug overdoses, and desperate situations create an environment where anything can happen at any moment. I want to be clear, most homeless individuals are not violent. They're people facing incredibly difficult circumstances. However, the concentration of untreated mental illness, addiction, and desperation creates a volatile environment. Recent incidents. In just the past month, there have been 12 documented assaults on people who accidentally drove through Skid Row, including tourists who took a wrong turn and ended up surrounded by individuals demanding money or trying to enter their vehicles. The city spends over $600 million annually on Skid Row services, but the problem seems to be getting worse, not better. New encampments appear as fast as old ones are cleared. Critical safety advice. There is absolutely no reason for tourists or casual visitors to enter Skid Row. If you're doing volunteer work or social services, go with established organizations and never go alone. If you accidentally enter the area while driving, keep moving, don't stop, and don't make eye contact or engage with anyone approaching your vehicle. Number 3. Watts. Coming in at number 3 is Watts, and this neighborhood has a violent crime rate that's absolutely staggering, 31.2 per 1,000 residents. That's nearly 10 times the national average. Watts has been synonymous with urban violence since the famous riots of 1965. But the current situation is actually more complex and in some ways more dangerous than the historical reputation suggests. The main issue in Watts isn't just gang violence, it's the sophistication and weaponization of that violence. Modern gangs in Watts have access to military-grade weapons, organized through social media, and engage in conflicts that can escalate from a social media post to a shooting in a matter of hours. The Grape Street Watts Crips, PJ Watts Crips, and Bounty Hunter Bloods maintain strong territorial control, and innocent people regularly get caught in crossfire situations. Shocking statistic. Watts has a homicide rate of 87 per 100,000 residents. To put that in perspective, the national average is 5 per 100,000. Chicago, which gets all the media attention for violence, has a rate of 18 per 100,000. Watts is nearly 5 times more dangerous than Chicago. But here's what media coverage often misses: Watts also has incredible community organizations, talented artists, successful businesses, and families who have lived there for generations and are working every day to make positive changes. The Watts Towers, created by Simon Rodia, stand as a symbol of creativity and hope in the midst of challenging circumstances. Community centers like the Watts Labor Community Action Committee provide services, education, and alternatives to street life. Reality check. If you have no business in Watts, don't go. If you're doing community service or have family there, coordinate with local organizations, travel in groups, and avoid displaying anything that could be mistaken for gang colors or expensive items. Number 2. Compton. Compton takes the number 2 spot, and while it's technically not within LA city limits, it's so closely connected to Law's urban landscape that we had to include it. With a violent crime rate of 36.8 per 1,000 residents, Compton remains one of the most dangerous places in Southern California. Now, Compton has a complicated reputation thanks to hip-hop music and movies, but the reality on the ground is much more nuanced than pop culture suggests. Yes, there's significant gang activity, primarily Bloods and Crips sets that have been feuding for decades. But there's also a strong working-class community, successful businesses, and ongoing revitalization efforts. The main safety concerns in Compton are drive-by shootings, armed robbery, and drug-related violence. What makes it particularly dangerous is the randomness of violence. Shootings can happen in broad daylight on busy streets, and innocent bystanders are frequently injured. Recent incident. Just 3 months ago, a family driving through Compton on their way to LAX airport was caught in gang crossfire at a red light. 2 family members were hospitalized with gunshot wounds. They had never been to Compton before and were simply following GPS directions. However, I want to highlight some positive developments. Compton has elected new leadership focused on community development, crime reduction, and economic opportunities. Several successful businesses have opened in the past year, and some crime statistics have actually improved. The Compton Sheriff's Station has also implemented community policing initiatives that are showing promising results in certain areas. Navigation advice. If you must drive through Compton, use major thoroughfares like Compton Boulevard or Rosecrans Avenue. Avoid residential side streets, don't stop for gas or food, and keep your doors locked and windows up. Most importantly, don't take photos or videos. This can be misinterpreted as disrespectful or even threatening. Number 1. South Los Angeles, South Central. And here we are, the number 1 most dangerous area in Los Angeles, South Los Angeles, historically known as South Central. With a violent crime rate approaching 40 per 1,000 residents in some sections and a complex web of gang territories, this area tops our list. South LA encompasses a large area, but the most dangerous sections include parts of Florence, Manchester, and areas around Crenshaw and Slauson. This isn't just one neighborhood, it's a collection of areas that share similar challenges and crime patterns. What makes South LA particularly dangerous is the combination of factors: entrenched gang culture spanning multiple generations, high unemployment, limited economic opportunities, and a history of tense police-community relations that complicates law enforcement efforts. The gang situation here is incredibly complex. You've got multiple blood sets, Crip sets, and increasingly, Hispanic gangs moving into traditionally African American territories. These territorial shifts create additional violence as boundaries are contested and established. Staggering statistics. In some zip codes within South LA, the homicide rate exceeds 100 per 100,000 residents. There are individual street corners that have seen more homicides in a single year than entire cities in other parts of the country. But here's what I want everyone to understand: South LA is also home to incredible resilience, creativity, and community strength. This is where legendary musicians, athletes, and activists have emerged. Organizations like Brotherhood Crusade, Community Coalition, and dozens of churches provide services, hope, and alternatives to street life. Recent developments. The city has invested heavily in South LA through programs like the Empowerment Congress and community development initiatives. Some areas have seen crime reductions of 15–20% over the past 3 years. However, the challenge remains enormous. Generations of disinvestment, systemic inequality, and concentrated poverty have created conditions that can't be fixed overnight. Absolute safety protocol. Unless you have specific business in South LA, family, community service, or work, avoid the area entirely. If you must visit, go during daylight hours, travel with local contacts who know the area, inform others of your whereabouts, and have an exit plan. Never display expensive items, jewelry, or electronics. Respect the community and understand that you're a visitor in someone else's neighborhood. So there you have it, the 10 most dangerous neighborhoods in Los Angeles based on comprehensive crime data and community safety analysis. Before we wrap up, let me give you some universal safety tips that apply anywhere in LA. Universal safety tips. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, leave immediately. Stay aware of your surroundings, put the phone down and pay attention. Don't display expensive items. This includes jewelry, electronics, or designer clothes. Travel in groups when possible. There's safety in numbers. Stick to well-lit, busy areas. Avoid empty streets and dark alleys. Keep your car doors locked even while driving. Have an exit strategy. Know how to get out of any area quickly. Respect local communities. You're a visitor, act accordingly. Important perspective. Remember, millions of people live in and visit Los Angeles safely every year. Crime is concentrated in specific areas and specific circumstances. The vast majority of LA is perfectly safe for residents and tourists alike. These neighborhoods we've discussed have real people, families, and communities working hard to create positive change. Many residents have lived in these areas their entire lives and consider them home. This video is about awareness and safety, not about judging or stigmatizing entire communities. Crime statistics tell part of the story, but they don't define the people or the potential of these neighborhoods. Community organizations, residents, and local leaders are working every day to create safer, more prosperous communities. If this video helped you understand LA better and how to stay safe, smash that like button and share it with anyone who might benefit from this information. Your engagement helps us create more content like this that provides real value. And don't forget to subscribe with notifications turned on, because next week we're flipping the script with the 10 safest neighborhoods in Los Angeles that offer the best value. You'll discover some hidden gems that even locals don't know about. Drop a comment and let me know, were you surprised by any of these rankings? Have you had experiences in any of these areas? Your stories help other viewers understand the real situation and stay safe. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and keep exploring responsibly. Peace out.